What if I told you that the simulation is full of glitches that are hidden that you can use to your advantage to be able to manifest? And when I say manifest, take anything from the unseen to the seen, put yourself in a position that you are able to manifest anything you want through these glitches in the simulation. If you want to find out more about these 3 glitches, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and make sure to give me a like, because there is nothing else quite like this on YouTube. If you have not been here before, my name is Chrissy. I am a simulation theorist. It is wonderful to have you here. Happy and grateful that you have clicked on this channel and this information, because it is going to blow your mind to see rapid unfolding of your new reality right before your eyes. So let's get into it. So I don't personally believe any of these glitches in the simulation are a mistake. If you are familiar with any of my material, I believe that we are living in a simulated environment, which is Earth. I'm not saying that it even necessarily has to be per se computer simulated, but it is an environment that I believe we have control over. That there are things like glitches that do exist in this simulation, that we have consciousness outside of the simulation. This is just an environment where we can come down to actually play the game of reality. And the best way that I can compare these glitches is when I was younger, I used to play a ton of video games. My dad used to call me, rest in peace his soul, Vidiot. I don't even know. I guess that was probably a thing back in the day. And I would find glitches in the video games that would let you do things that were unbeknownst, if you will, to the average player. Things like when I was playing Mario Brothers, you could jump up above some of the layers and walk above the entire game. And if you are not familiar with that kind of thing, you would never know that those little holes or bugs or whatever you want to call them even existed. These glitches, or these alternative ways of getting things done within the game, are really useful, and we're going to get into that obviously. But more video game glitches that I remember was where you could access tons of money. And I referenced this before on one of my old videos about money. If anybody remembers, the Game Genie was a program that you could essentially plug into whatever game you were playing, and it unlocked endless lives, infinite money, infinite weapons, infinite strength, whatever you needed. So you could easily blow through boards and beat games that you were never previously able to. So with this information, wouldn't it be really cool if we could use this on our reality? And I totally think that we can. So let's talk about that. The first one I'm going to talk about is the glitch of how we can use the observer effect. The glitch here is that the simulation prioritizes whatever you give your attention to. But to most people, they don't even realize it, that they're giving attention to things that they don't want. So hack this by hyper focusing on what you actually do want, as opposed to what you don't want, or the absence of what you don't currently have. The focus usually is to have attention on what isn't in front of you. I can give you a real life example of myself. Most recently, I've been wanting to expand into the YouTube reality. I love talking about these types of topics. I like researching them. I like diving deep on topics. I like introspective work. I like self-actualization, and I would love to create some sort of business out of this. but I'm not 100% sure exactly what avenue I'm going to go with this. So right now, I'm using the observer effect to put focus over my reality of what I do want. So then it's being able to expand more ideas, more creative outlets, whatever it is to get me to that next elevated level. Don't want to focus on the fact that maybe I don't have 100,000 subscribers, for example. Focused on the fact that I didn't get tons and tons of views, or that I wasn't this huge YouTuber. I may not put out content. And with those consistent focused thoughts, I will continue to not put out content. But the only way that I would be able to observe 100,000 subscribers, for example, in my reality on my channel, would be to keep taking micro actions, which would be putting out content to share with the folks around the globe. That will get me micro actions over time and consistency, hopefully to more subscribers. I'm not claiming that I have control over the simulation to where I could say I have focused so hard that I've immediately gotten everything that I wanted, like boom, 100,000 subscribers. That would definitely be nice, and I would like that, but there's maybe reasons why it has not come into my life yet. It is a lot of work. It is a lot of attention, a lot of focus, and I also have a full-time job. YouTube is considered a hobby for me, but it would be wonderful now to convert to something where I actually find myself more passionate about it than my corporate career, if you will. So if that starts to happen, it feels like the simulation is telling me that I should shift, and that would probably be the next alternative life track that I would be on. Giving you this as an example in my own life because I don't know how else to give you or articulate something that important, or using that glitch in such a way that it works every single time. I'm not claiming that these glitches will work for you the first time you do them. Sometimes you may have to practice them. You have to exercise your muscle of focus. That is a muscle, that is a skill, and the more you're able to learn to focus on the things that you actually do want, and this means also from an expansion perspective, looking at whatever you have and saying like, this is amazing, what I have already is fantastic, I'm so grateful for this, I'm happy that I'm able to do X, Y, and Z for people, etc., etc. Using what you already have and really reframing to, no matter what happens in your life, that it is a positive, or not even a positive. It's just that was supposed to happen, and it doesn't have to have heavy weighted emotions attached to it. You can kind of drop the pendulum, if you will. It doesn't have to feel so horrible or so wonderful, like maintaining more neutral state of reality. So for example, if I wanted 100,000 subscribers and I put that on a pedestal and I thought, my God, if I never get that, I'm destroyed. And that's not the case. That cannot be the case. I will go on and live the rest of my life and be fantastic wherever I need to be fantastic at. I have been that way my entire life, and things will always work out for me in such a way. But just because I have something that is a goal, that doesn't mean that you can achieve or accomplish these things overnight. And a lot of people like to assume that these hack videos are going to get you something instantaneously. It will get it pretty quickly, but it's not always going to happen in the human construct of time that you may foresee it happening in. You enjoy how it happened more. You focus more on the journey and looking back on it. As you were having more fun doing the building, doing the fun activities, being excited about something, and then your quote unquote manifestation comes in through that hack of just paying extreme focus on what you do want to happen, paying extreme focus on the things that excite you and using those emotions as well, feeling excited, knowing that what you want is here. It's just you haven't seen it yet. It's not placed in front of you for your observation quite yet. But through the power of ongoing observation, you can hack that simulation and have the sim shift in your favor, and it will start to show you all the things that you didn't see before. It will now start to show you other opportunities. You will meet people, you will get news, you will whatever, find the relationship, you will get the money, you will get the hundreds of thousands of subscribers, or whatever it is for you, that means for you. The simulation doesn't care about how I feel about any of the things that I want. It wants to just give me the things that I'm focusing on, and that is the hack. You have to use your power of attention, your power of focus, and then not put things on an overimportance to where your life is destroyed if you don't have it. Maintain neutrality and just keep focus on it. A healthy, balanced focus. And then when things don't feel good, maybe about that, you can shift for a little bit and then regain focus on what you really want. And let's talk about glitch number 2, and that's the time compression loop. And going back to what I just said, I can't promise instantaneous results to every single one of you because I don't know how much you pay attention. I know that my attention is scattered. I have a corporate job and I have phone calls probably 70% of my day. So I cannot step away from my computer for very long because I'm engaged. I'm having to pay attention and supply information and answers, and I have people to give information to. I'm in a constant state of paying attention to information to be provided to other people about, important things in that reality, which then leaves me with little attention to be paid on certain other things. But that doesn't mean that I can't shift my reality and even recognize this in myself and use more focus and more micro actions to get me where I want to be. So glitch 2 is about bending time. The simulation does not experience time the way we do. It is a non-thing in the simulation. Time is a human construct. It is there because we have the whole concept of entropy, so we must put a time allowance on everything. That's how we understand what is going on through our human lens. But once you understand that the simulation transcends time, which is that you can actually create a time compression loop by acting as if you already have whatever it is. So if you, and this is called delusionality. I have other videos talking about delusionality. I put one of my delusional videos in my members section, I believe. But nonetheless, delusionality works. I used personally delusionality to get to Florida. And I know that's another common thing that I talk about on this channel, but is because it was such a large thing for me to move from Philly to South Florida. That was something that was like a lifetime goal, if you will. So the fact that I accomplished that was like over the moon, because I live 15 minutes from the most gorgeous beach, and my house has, it's just, I'm not even trying to brag or anything like that. I did it on a really economical way, and because I'm also creative. I'm very creative on how money comes into me. I'm creative on how I can get things done. I have those around me that are creative. So I have a really good set of things going on around me that all helped, which is the simulation at play, shifting my reality to be able to do the things that I want. So I really wanted this house. It was feeling like I couldn't get my hands on this house that I wanted for a really good price. I mean, because I wanted a pool too. And they were like, you're not finding a house at this price with a pool. Like, it's just not happening. But I did it, and it happened. It wasn't at first. I had to use the power, or what I felt I did, use the power of focus and shifted the sim. And the guy literally dropped $40,000 when he would not budge, and I got the house nearly close to what I wanted to pay for it. And that went on for weeks of me doing different things, basically just paying attention, and it shifted the sim. They were all these little techniques that I was using, but the techniques were nothing more than me paying attention to the things that I wanted. At the time, I was also crafting my living room. So taking pictures of what you want and starting to craft them in such a detailed way that I literally had the couches in there, I had the wallpaper, and I think I showed it on another episode, but the before and after actually looked like afterward was amazing. It looked almost identical. And that's the part where creating that time compression loop is the whole concept of act as if, very heavy in the Neville or the manifestation community. And just any of the teachers in general talk about this, feeling in the moment as if you already have the thing, the dream, the desire, the manifestation, the whatever it is that you want to call it, whatever that ideal state of emotion that you could get into, the state of emotion that matches what it would feel like if you were experiencing that actual thing. That is what being on the frequency of that specific thing means. Get all esoteric about what that means. It just simply means emotionally, that tangible emotional feeling that you get if you are sitting in your dream house, or if I'm swimming in my dream pool. I would tangibly have those emotions and feelings right before things would happen for me. I would often do this in the shower, so that's another hack in my opinion. Having the water wash over you, it's as if you are having like a spiritual cleanse or something, and then during that, emitting the frequencies of what it would feel like. Oftentimes, it would bring me to tears. So I knew I was releasing emotionally this feeling attaching to whatever it is that I was heavily thinking about. And at that time, it was being in Florida. It was my house. It was being able to go to the beach every weekend. It was being sitting in this exact room filming these videos. It was literally all a vision in my mind before it came true. I get emotional thinking about it because that's how quickly things can spiral out for you. I'm not saying that it will happen every single time as quickly as it may have for my house, because even for me, I can see that things take time for certain things, like growing a tree, growing a baby bird. Everything in life is this journey or this growth, this expansion. So I'm okay not getting things instantaneously anymore. What feels like in the human construct of instantaneous. Wouldn't want, of course, $1 million to drop on their lap, but I'm not thinking that that's going to make my life right. So I'm hoping and praying that $1 million drops on my lap. Those are not my focused thoughts and intentions for my reality, just because I feel like I want to have fun. And I think that you can have fun with that kind of money, but there's also this fun of building it and finding it for yourself and just having this journey and being able to experience different levels of life and being able to know that if you do want something, that you can use this power of focus, you can shift the simulation, these emotions, supercharge your manifestation, supercharge the unseen moving into the seen. And if you look at any of my previous videos, this is done through what I believe is electrical impulses through our emotions that are being sent out to the simi. And through those electrical pulses, it's starting to then show you through the checkerboard theory that I discussed, through your optic stems, if you will, through your phosphenes. You can start to observe through your phosphenes. You would be able to then see and observe simulated environment that you want to see. The holographic nature of reality will start to show you the new. It will start to like shift in front of you through that checkerboard theory, through those phosphenes. That is what's essentially plugging your brain, what is your quote unquote receptor, your interceptor, your black box, your frequency box, your projector. Gregg Braden has done a good example of talking about this. I'll try to see if I can insert a clip of it now. But what
And we now know that the matrix is a malleable field of energy. It's a field of energy that changes in response to what we feed that field, and that we have direct access to that field through our user interface of codes like language and emotion, of how we interact with this matrix. All possibilities exist as quantum potential. Choose to create something new in our lives. We choose to heal our bodies. When we hold the image in our mind of what it is that we choose to create, the act of holding the image in our minds is the act of us reaching into the matrix. We're literally reaching in on an energetic level in the presence of all of these possibilities, and we're finding the one that we now have created to focus upon, the potential, grabbing that potential in your life and isolating that potential and making it into something that is real. Gone from quantum potential to physical reality. We have in our imagination, and there are different ways that we're conditioned to imagine. Prayer is a form of imagination. What we're asking is for the ability to reach into that field of quantum potential by collapsing the infinite possibilities of the matrix into the finite experience of a single choice. This is where language comes in. The words that we choose are the codes that direct our neurons to reach into the field of all possibilities, into the quantum matrix, into the divine matrix, and once again to collapse those many potentials into the single discrete experience that we have chosen in our lives. What words do you use in your conversations, in your interactions with people day in and day out? Saying things subconsciously to the field that you would never intentionally say in a million years. What if everything that you speak actually a command to the field? Affirmations are very popular in our culture right now. And the idea of an affirmation, I think it can be potentially useful. However, to simply say the same thing a bajillion times in a day may not always have the impact if we're not saying it within the brain state and the heart state that allows what we're saying to be interpreted in a meaningful way by the matrix. And that's, soever ye ask the Father in my name, he will give it to you. Ask and ye shall receive, that your joy may be full. Subtle difference that was left out in the translation, and it may very well be because the translators did not understand what you and I are exploring right now. Because they didn't understand it, they simply streamlined the languaging. All things that you ask straightly, directly, from inside my name, you'll be given. Ask without hidden motive, and be surrounded by your answer. Be enveloped by what you desire, that your gladness be full. Of attachment to the outcome. It's actually a very Buddhist concept. Ask without attachment to the rightness, the wrongness, the goodness, the badness, or the joy or the disappointment as to whether or not your prayer is answered. Without attachment to the outcome, okay? Be surrounded by your answer. Be enveloped by what you desire. The only way to be is if those things are already present. Your prayer is already answered. Feel as if the prayer is already answered.
Look at some of this stuff, or you think about it, it's just the ability to intercept information around you from the receiver. Your brain is the receiver from all of the inputs. There's all of this data in the ethers, and it is up to us to be able to strengthen our power of focus and awareness and consciousness to be able to intercept that data, to be able to expand the simulation, the environment. And a note on this, I do want to say, I know I am a simulation theorist, and I do also understand that there are folks that do not believe in this at all. And there are people that may think that I'm crazy. And the other day called me a schizo, and that's fine. I can take that rebuttal and I'm okay. I don't need to defend this fact at all. I understand that with everything that you propose in life, there's always an opposing force to it, or there's always a chance that it may not be true. What is true, what is false? It's only what we can measure in front of us. And many people may claim, because I'm not a scientist or something like this, that I am not qualified to maybe speak on these subjects. However, I have been researching and looking up things and listening to podcasts, and I have consumed so much information and data over the past 15 years plus. I also did go to college, and I did study formally many things in college. So I am formally taught. I also have been into doing INLP recently. I am getting a certification for hypnosis and linguistic programming, things of this nature that give me different insights and perspectives in our world, not just adhering to one single perspective or one single way. So I think in the simulation, it all works. Whatever religion you want, whatever thing that you want to do with your life, that is up to you. As long as I do adhere to the golden rule, do unto others as you want done unto you. I don't think that you should be out here killing people, regardless of whether it is a neutral experience to the simulation. I think that things like that happen because experiences are made to be had over and over again in the simulation, regardless of what that experience is, whether it's good or bad. It's just another form of the expression of the universe coming out, and it's not up to us to delegate judgment over that. Obviously, from a God body perspective, we do it down here with laws and stuff like this, but inherently, God himself, nobody to this day has seen his entity come down here in mass and declare certain things. So until that day happens, and we all globally see it, and he has spoken among us to tell us, it is up to perspective. Move on to the last glitch, and this is the emotional override protocol. When you have any type of heavy fear, any type of doubt, any type of awkward feeling, any type of stress, any type of anxiety, we're trying to refocus that. We're trying to accept it. I'm not saying like stuff your emotions down the drain, and if you're angry, don't worry about it. Just shove it down. If you want to cry, shove it down. No, I'm saying take your whatever minutes to cry or whatever long. And for me, set a time limit. I'm not saying like you can grieve for years and years for certain things, but certain aspects of the grief process can be compartmentalized, especially if it's smaller stressors. Like I can sometimes maybe just go stuff my head in a pillow and cry and let out that emotion, or go for a walk, or take a shower, or meditate, or go to the gym, or take a long drive, or pet your cats or go to the lake or go swimming or jog, whatever it is that can let you have that emotional outlet and have your mind be clear, and then have your moment of whatever emotional thing that you do, but then cut it off and then immediately redirect and focus. Not sit in that emotion. Redirect to something that makes you happy. Put on your favorite song that gets you in the highest quote unquote vibration, or just whatever aligned vibration you want to be in. Put on something that makes you laugh. Put on something that excites you or that motivates you. Phone a friend, reach out to somebody that can help you, that can snap you out of that very quickly. Or learn, obviously, to self-soothe. Learn self-love techniques to where if you're feeling a certain way, you can take a bath, you can relax, you can do whatever it is to take the stressors away from you, and then redirect to what you want to focus on, what you want the simulation to show you. The simulation is not immediately going to shift in 2 seconds every time. I've had situations where that has happened to me, but most are in a depressive state. You can even be thinking about what you still want, and it will still shift the sim. The sim doesn't really care if you're giving so many poor emotions to something that you do want, as long as it's focused on it. Of course, don't focus on it for long periods of time in a negative way, I would say, just because if it's responding to something, it's responding to an elevated focus, to an elated emotional state of focus, something that is on the vibratory match of that thing. And it doesn't have to even be like a happy or sad or neutral thing. It's what is the emotional state of that thing that you want? What is that thing? What is that quote unquote thing vibrating at? Unseen, if you will. So it's not even that complicated though. It's what I'm focusing on will activate my reticular activating system. So if you are refocusing negative feelings, if you are refocusing scattered thoughts, like if you're somebody that is scrolling the internet all the time, that is focusing on crappy behaviors, that is focusing on other people, that is focusing on gossip. I'm even guilty of this myself, needing to not be sucked into different gossip sites and different videos, because it can be very easy to sit back, eat something, and indulge. But if you do this too often, it will keep you further and further away from the actual things that you want your simulation to show you. Because if your observatory power is over those things, the simulation is going to be like, show more. I did that video about YouTube. It will just continue to algorithmically show you more and more of the thing. You want gossip videos, you're going to get more about gossip videos. And then you're going to be seeing more things about that gossip. And then you're going to see more other people talking about the gossip. And then more channels will come up about the gossip. And then all of a sudden, you have gossip all over your timeline. That's all you're seeing. It's all you're focusing on. It's all you're paying attention to. And then meanwhile, you're not getting your own channel done. For example, like for me, if that's the case, you're not getting your own personal business up off the ground. You're not doing something that you're supposed to be doing for maybe your house or something, and you're busy playing video games and watching like trash TV or whatever, and you're not cleaning your house. Those are things that will not aid in simulation shifting, because then you're going to see that dirty house, and then you're going to get overwhelmed with that, and then you're going to feel overwhelmed. The simulation also, in my opinion, likes pattern. That's another hack to this emotional shifting, emotional refocusing, if you will. Likes patterns of emotion. Patterns, that's what I was saying. It's not going to immediately shift if it feels a negative pattern, if you will. It's patterns of focus and patterns of emotions. paired over time, the rigorousness of the action, the emotional internal reactions, and your thoughts and behaviors, just everything paired together will holographically show you on the screen of life what you want to see. If you keep looking at things you don't want to see, it will keep showing you those same things. It's a part of the algorithm, it's a part of the system. It likes the pattern rhythmic behavior, and it will keep showing you the same pattern behaviors that you fail to get out of, that you fail to be conscious of, or that you fail to realize and become self-actualized out of. So I think that if you understand the things that we discussed in this video, you will be that much closer to being able to hack your reality and get all of your manifestations so quickly that it will blow your mind, and you'll get the things that will be so much better probably than you even imagined. Because I will say that it does seem like the simulation is pretty good at doing that too, if you set that intention, that this or something better intention, it always is showing you cooler things. I know that myself. If I feel like I could have had FOMO, like, again, fear is something that will stop or slow down or downshift your simulation. If you are in a fear state all the time, it will hide the things that it wants to show you. And I've had other experiences on my channel with this where instantaneously, if I feared something, I was no longer able to see something in front of my eyes. And again, that was in a certain hallucinatory state, but nonetheless, I experienced it, and fear did drive things away. And it, even besides that, fear drives away so many things. Risk drives away so many things in life. And once we observe that and recognize that even with fear and risks and taking whatever that is and still doing the thing, you will get the results you want, because the simulation wants to show you what you're focused on. I know everybody enjoyed this video, because once again, there is nothing else quite like this on the internets. So for that, don't forget to give me a like and a subscribe. And I do love you all very much. To all of my new subscribers, I truly appreciate that you've been liking, hitting the subscribe on my recent episodes, and I am extremely grateful for this. So thank you to all of you. I think that you are all very open-minded individuals and are awesome to be able to follow along and hear out my content, to be quite honest, and hopefully glean some bit of awareness, some piece of truth, to be able to make things become seen in your unseen simulation. So until the next time, guys, I know you're all going to continue to manifest magic and resonate on your highest frequency. Mwah. Bye, guys. You walk around being delusional. You observe yourself doing whatever in like the 5D. You can be up on high on 5D, observing yourself and acting as if whatever in the moment, acting as if you have whatever that may be. If it was you want to become a movie star, you behave and act like said movie star you're trying to become. If you are trying to become a CEO of a company, you act and move like the CEO of the company would. Basically embody the feeling of what that person would be doing, thinking, saying, all of this. This will quickly shift the simulation even faster, because the simulation is only going to again deliver unto you what you focus on. So if you start behaving just like the thing that you're trying to pursue, if it's having somebody be in love with you, if you are effortlessly just the center of attention, one who can go in and capture a room, if you walk around with this essence, you will attract whomever you want. Showing that you love yourself without any attachments to any worldly things will attract in any SPs, etc., etc. If you are trying to shift careers, act as if the new career is here already. Be in the state or modality of that career. Behave, think, do, act, micro actions that somebody in that career would take. Using that first hack or glitch or whatever you want to call it of observatory focus over what you want to see in your quote unquote screen of life of your reality, and then in the physical avatar that you reside in, behaving as if you were that person. So for example, again, look at me. I have now put on my earrings, and these are like, I don't know, 80s I'm giving, 80s realness or 50s realness, but retro realness, and it is able to transport you and give you nostalgic feelings and have you in a really good frequency. That's why my channel is called The Magical Frequency. I like to say this because I like to assume that I'm always being very intentional and magical with the way that I live. I do try to do that to the best of my ability, and I'm starting to shift my world more and more, view my entire reality through this magical simulated lens, if you will. These two things, you can compress time and have your simulation show on the holographic screen in front of you.